welcome everybody to Focus on China 2022. We're delighted to be back here once again, building our relationships with China, which we've done for many years. We have with us Qing Fan, producer at Tencent. We have Chen Fei Zhu, producer at iQIYI, and Olivia Fang, Senior Manager, LEGO Entertainment Pictures and Contents, and Alicia Liu, Founder and MD at Singing Grass. So welcome everybody and thank you so much. The idea today is for us to be able to dig a bit deeper into storytelling and how it works both for the Chinese audience and how all of you have taken various projects and make them come alive on the international stage. So we're going to have a talk from each of you and then we're going to have a discussion towards the end. Before we start, I'm going to ask Alicia if she could just give us a taster of what's happening and what she sees happening in China as a whole. Do you want to give us some clues as to what you see happening on a more general scale?
Sure, thank you, Sarah. I think it would be useful to look at China now as we're here based in the UK, some of the major policy changes and the market key trends and opportunities that took place in the past 3 years. Last year, China announced the three-child policy, which allows family to have up to 3 children. And the latest national survey last month actually shows that over 82% of Chinese parents are considering to have 2 or more children. So overall, we're going to see a robust growth of the kids' content market in the coming years. And earlier this week, we actually conducted a China Trends research and training for the global publishing group, Pingguo Random House. Edutainment has become the keywords that really stands out in children's media landscape in China. The impact extended from various formats, from publishing to animation, short video streaming. For example, last year, popular science has taken over children's literature as the #1 genre in publishing. And for children's animation, educational STEAM content also accounts for over half of the TV kids program in China now. So people looking for fun entertainment, but there's also an active outlook for an educational experience. Another key trend really emerged in the past year is, I would say, the rise of China chic. In Chinese, it's called Guoqiao. So really, China has really rich traditions of storytelling. Think of story of the journey to the West, 3 kingdoms. It really covers history, geography, and adventure. So storytelling was traditionally served as the university of ordinary people, the place where culture and knowledge were communicated in an entertaining and simple way. And now there's a real ambition to revive this kind of traditional heritage storytelling in a modern context. The impact of this China chic has really expanded across various categories. We've seen fashion design to art to literature, and I believe now it's finally arrived in children's animation too. They're engaging with children in China and beyond. So I'm very looking forward to hearing the case studies from iQIYI, Tencent and LEGO today.
So thank you so much for that snapshot of what's happening. I'd like to ask Qing Fei to talk about the craft of storytelling for the global audience, particularly from a Chinese perspective. And you've been working on Deer Squad, which has been an international project. Do you want to give us some insights into the latest developments of Deer Squad?
Yeah, shall we have a look? Because we have a new clip from Deer Squad Season 2.
Get ready to fight for good.
Yay!
With all new Deer Squad adventures that are out of this world. They'll make new friends with awesome powers.
Wow!
And get turbocharged to new gear.
Yeah!
So when danger is near, Call the Deer Squad.
Woohoo! Yeah!
Don't miss brand new episodes. Coming soon.
So for Deer Squad, we now have 2 seasons are currently online on iQIYI, and also they're being broadcasted on Nick globally. And we have season 3 now in production. Very exciting. We're really excited about this new season, and I think we're gonna introduce some new characters and some new plot lines. And just like our audience, we're really much look forward to the many different types of new adventures that our deer will embark on. I'm really excited about this. There's so many new settings, new locations, and new stories that I want to introduce to our audience. It's just a matter of time. So that's a current development stage. Yes.
And in terms of crafting the story and the storytelling, how does that work from a Chinese perspective within the global sphere?
That's a really good question. So usually we produce content with both the local and global audiences in mind, and Deer Squad is one of the perfect examples for this. So from the beginning, we collaborated with Nickelodeon through the entire production process. Our team at iQIYI, we offered our inputs on the specific Chinese culture and customs, and Nickelodeon would help us bring focus to the interests of the overseas audience. We basically keep a constant dialogue. It's like basically every day, and which lasted the entirety of the creative and also the production process, because it's everywhere. What kind of food they eat, should we keep this dialogue, is this wording okay, that sort of thing, because it keeps happening. And we believe this kind of very in-depth and collaboration model that actually has provided new possibilities for this domestic animation to actually travel beyond our own shores and actually go into the international audience, and has received a good feedback globally and also domestically. Yep.
What sort of content do you think works really well for the international audience?
Content-wise, I think because the love for children, for kids, this theme is universal. And we believe that themes such as love, compassion, team spirits, and also a love for science and perhaps environment, they all appeal to the audience worldwide. It doesn't really matter where you are, and these themes are quite universal. That's what we have been discovered in the past.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Jing Fei. Next up, I'd like to ask Jing to join me. Do you want to talk about the latest international projects at Tencent and what you're looking for from a story when you want to see a pitch, and how that connects, how it connects with the Chinese children and parents?
We have a slate of kids originals, as you say, just now, both homegrown and with international partners. Our recent international collaborations, including the Coop Troop with 16 South, the Creature Cases with Silvergate, Super Potato that we co-commissioned with BBC Children's and BBC Studios, and the recently announced Shasha and Milo with Lodia Kids, among which a few highlights are the Coop Troop, which is a 52 plus 11 minutes comedy show aimed at 6 to 9 years old that we co-produced with 16 South, French television and Michaels. It's a fast, fiery, and very funny comedy CGI show. It's about an unlikely bunch of farmyard heroes that are on a mission to help animals in trouble and to relieve the boredom of life in their mobile chicken coop. Our collaboration with BBC Studios, Super Potato, is a 52 plus 7 minutes 2D animated comedy series based on a best-selling book series of the same name, revolving around the world's first potato superhero and his supermarket battle against his nemesis, Evil P. And the collaboration with Silvergate led to the Creature Cases, an animated action, comedy, and detective series following the adventure of a unique detective duo who specializes in solving animal mysteries. The first series launched on Netflix this April and has hit the top list kids show in many countries across the world, including UK.
A lot of people are desperate to pitch into China, and I know that when I look at them, I know some things might resonate and some things might not. They probably want to hear from you. What are you looking for from a story when you see a pitch? What is it that you in particular are looking for?
We are keen to develop high quality content with compelling stories and engaging characters. And this content should not only cater to local market appetite, ideally it should have international appeal as well. And while we want to engage and entertain children with our output, we also want to provide content that will help them to learn and grow, whether that's improving their numeracy, literacy, and knowledge, or helping them to acquire valuable life skills that build confidence, empathy, and communication abilities. While always on the lookout for exciting new IPs, we are also keen to develop literary adaptations, such as with Super Tito, which often already have a wide fan base.
That's brilliant. I think children are a leveler, aren't they? They're all going through the same phases of growing up and developing. And it's finding really good content that, as you say, helps them grow and gives them that confidence. And story is so key to doing that. And so thank you so much, and thank you for sharing. Next up, we have Olivia Fang. And Olivia's going to talk to us about the idea and history of behind Monkey Kid and what the team saw in making it have international appeal. So before we get into the chat and I talk to Olivia, let's run a clip so everybody can see and we can share your exciting new programme.
Here comes Monkey Kid.
You're totally getting the hang of this, bud.
Yeah! Prepare to get MKO'd. I totally don't got this.
In case you forgot, I'm retired. You're supposed to be the one taking care of the bad guys.
You're basically the new Monkey King now.
Here comes Monkey Kid!
Olivia, do you want to explain some of the history behind the project? Tell us a bit about it.
Well, from the beginning, we knew that we were not going to settle on simply reinterpreting a classic Chinese novel that's been told and retold hundreds of times in almost all forms and formats. The question that set our imagination free was, what if we try to imagine the next chapter of Journey to the West? From there, we set out to create a whole new universe, completely original and rooted in LEGO. But just as importantly, a universe inspired by a well-known story loved by millions of people in China and around the world. It was this starting point that ultimately led to the birth of LEGO Monkey Kid. In this futuristic setting, the beloved hero from Journey to the West comes to life as MK. He is an ordinary delivery boy, obsessed with the legends of old. What he does not know yet is that he is a prodigy secretly chosen by the legendary Monkey King. And MK will embark on a long hero's journey full of twists and turns to rediscover who he really is. And our storytelling approach focused on making the show easily decodable for anyone who likes to have a good laugh. They did not necessarily have or need any prior knowledge of Journey to the West. But we believe many of them, after having watched the show, will open the book out of curiosity.
That's fantastic. I mean, Monkey Kid is a fascinating story. how did it get that international appeal? And does the creative team have to adapt things that make it work both for the Chinese audience and for the international audience?
Well, quality. At the LEGO Group, we always say only the best is good enough. And that summarizes our ambition for LEGO Monkey Kid. And as mentioned previously, our storytelling approach focused on making the TV show easily decodable for everyone, including those without prior knowledge of Journey to the West. But we needed to make sure any reference back to the original Chinese novel was done properly and accurately. We brought in a Chinese writer, Kai Ying, who worked very closely with our head writer, Jeremy Adams, and Flying Barks Animation to achieve this goal. We are all very happy to see Monkey Kid gaining international recognition, and I would say that is a result of the mindset of one team, one standard, which of course is the highest quality standard that we could possibly achieve.
And so, how are you expanding the animation into the toy and then getting it to work on such a global scale?
That's a great question, and I will take the liberty of rephrasing it as what brings animation storytelling and toy making together. In the case of LEGO Monkey Kid, I believe the magic comes from the process of having both story development colleagues and toy designers build the universe and its characters together from the very beginning of the development phase. And taking a cross-disciplinary approach from day one also requires everyone to be able to solve problems creatively. And to ease the process, we made sure there is a key driver for each specialized subject so that decisions, sometimes very difficult decisions, can be made in a timely manner. There is a documentary film produced by the UK studio Tuesday's Child called Journey to the East, and I highly recommend this film to those who are interested in finding out more about how our writers, animators, and toy designers worked closely together across 4 different time zones on LEGO Monkey Kid.
Thank you so much. I know Alicia's got quite a few questions that she'd like to ask because she's been producing the session.
Thank you. It was really fascinating, to hear the case studies from LEGO Monkey Kid and also the 2 fantastic producers working on international programs at Tencent iQIYI. I know the audience that watching this video have tons of questions they might want to get in touch with you later. But one of the burning questions that I've got actually is for LEGO, for Olivia. You mentioned earlier, this project is taking people across 4 different time zones and many years in making. I remember you said, if the first 3 years is a sacred project. And it's amazing looking back. Do you think, what are the kind of lessons you've learned from this international collaboration? If you were tasked to do another project like this, what are the areas you would advise people to look out for?
Well, we often reminded ourselves that we needed to take the ego, EGO, out of LEGO, Lego. It was never about who has the winning idea, but what we all believed in as a great idea. And we created a safe and open environment by making sure everyone can speak up. And the channel for giving and receiving feedback was always open. And when giving feedback, we try to break the barrier of technical language, so that the party receiving feedback would not get lost in translation. This is not to say that there were no misunderstandings, but with the commitment to giving and receiving feedback, we always managed to find our common interests. Everyone on the team is motivated to be the best version of him or herself. Finally, we created opportunities for everyone on the team to meet in person, in China, Australia, Hollywood, and Denmark. No other form of communication can replace the energy of face-to-face discussions. And in hindsight, we are now even more grateful that we made the efforts to meet each other in person.
We've also earlier, hearing the fantastic experience from Qing and Chen Fei from Tencent iQIYI. that you are now looking for really international, exciting content that works both in China but also globally. There's a universal theme. So where do you see the growth opportunities for the kids market in China in the future? As we now know, with the 3-child policy, we are going to see an even bigger demand for children's content in China. Perhaps we could start with Chen Fei from IT.
I think in our team, we see great potential in the entire children's content market. I think parents nowadays, they pay close attention to what their children are reading and watching. And this means we must continuously improve upon our content quality to meet the needs of our audience and their parents. I think the current dynamic could present a challenge to content producers, to us, since audience preferences are evolving really quickly. Parents and kids, their taste, their preferences, they change really, really rapidly these days. But we believe in what we're doing. And I think we remain quite excited about the opportunities and also the challenges. So in general, I think it's competitive market, but with great potential. We just have to understand what kids want, and also we understand what parents are concerned about. In that way, I think this is a big market with great potential for content production.
And Qing, what do you think? I mean, you've mentioned so many international current co-productions that you're working on. So many amazing IPs going to come onto the market for, both children in China and globally. What are the next step? The areas that you think the new growth opportunities that people should look out for, say, in the next 3 years?
Like all kids around the world, from generation to generation, kids need great content of their time. At Tencent Video, providing high quality, original and exclusive content is driving our growth in subscriptions and viewership. While we can also tap into richness of our IP portfolio to unlock a wealth of opportunities to drive synergy across a variety of media formats, including from animation to drama, films, and entertainment shows. This strategy has positioned us as a leading online streaming platform in China, with more than 124 million subscriptions. While the success of our self-produced content inspired us to expand globally through our collaboration with some of the finest international production companies. Together, we are creating high-quality, fresh, and original shows with true global appeal.
Thank you, Qing. Just to kind of wrap it up, I think both three of you all actually extraordinarily have this amazing global experience working on content that engage with kids in China and globally. If we ask you to summarize your experience, just in 3 words, you think the key, anybody want to get into this area, this international collaboration between China and global IPs, what are the 3 keywords that people should always keep in their mind when they work in this area?
I'll go first. For me, it's quality, story, and collaboration.
Great. And what do you think, Chen Fei?
I would say love, passion, and localization.
Yeah, great. I know you need passion. I think
you need love first.
Yeah, you need love first. Great. Yeah. What about you, Qing?
Content-wise, I would say engaging, appealing, and entertaining. We believe high-quality content has enduring and engaging appeal. Our aim is to create great content through partner with outstanding studios and creative talents around the world. And we look forward to working with more of them in the future.
Great. Thank you.
So I just want to take a minute to thank you all so much for joining us, because I know for you it's late and at the end of a very busy week. But most importantly, I wanted to thank you for keeping in touch. I know both Qingfei and Ching have very close relationships with the UK and globally, and they're hugely appreciated, not only on a corporate level but on a personal level and on an editorial level. I know that the editorial feedback that people get is very much valued, so thank you for that. And Olivia, we look forward to meeting you in person, hopefully very soon. So thank you, and thank you everybody for coming and joining.